back-to-back winning days yesterday. We got a sweep, baby. Oh my goodness. We've needed a sweep like air, and it finally came through. Can we run it back today? I think we can. I'm about to give you guys my 3 best bets on the way. 2 in college basketball, 1 side, 1 money line parlay, and then also our player prop of the day in the NBA. Let's get into it. This is the free 3.
I love it, Noble. Noble, I also love your YouTube videos. I watched them while I was gone. That was fire.
But getting paid because yesterday we had a full sweep. Mike going under, that was just icing on the cake. Why are we going to go in such a weak AFC South? Unless we have the NBA Blowout Association.
Bang! Knicks take a 1-point lead with 13 seconds.
When you hear the sirens, you know what that means.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
What is up, my people? It is your boy Noble Living, back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as I just try to get to the bag together and make that money. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, since we dropped the new theme song, I keep hearing that part where he's like, oh, we got a sweep. You know what that means. You hear the horns, and ever since we dropped that, I have not been able to hit the horns because we haven't had a sweep. Well, yesterday, guess what, guys? We can hit the horn, baby, because we got a sweep, man, and I'm excited because gambling's sometimes frustrating when you're not winning plays, but when you feel like you're reading the board right and you're still not getting the results that you want. That's when gambling is like the most frustrating, because it's like, where do you turn? You're doing the research, you're diving into the numbers, you're looking at other handicappers, you're paying for research, like you're trying to pull out all the stops, and you can't get like string together victories. Well, I've been able to kind of recalibrate myself, and the last few days have been good for us. Knock on wood. Let's keep the momentum going here. Yesterday, we did get a sweep. Officially a 3-0 day here on the free 3, but with the added plays that we add on Action Network, we actually go 4-0-1 with 1 push. So you could see here real quickly, yesterday we gave you DeMar DeRozan over 3.5 rebounds. He got 6. We cashed in easily on that. I love to see that. As I keep scrolling down here, we added a bankroll builder yesterday. Shout out to Kentucky for hitting a game-winning shot to get us done, but overall it wasn't too bad. Plus 100, we get our bankroll builder. K-State plus 5.5. You can see they only lost by 4, but hey, we'll take it. We need the points. I told you the line had moved too much, and we got a good number there. Syracuse, no sweat bet. They were winning from the onstart of that entire game. You love to see it. And then Maryland, I took them in the first half -2. Shout out to my boy Tay, who DM'd me. He was like, Noble, dude, what do you like in the Maryland Michigan State game? And you can see here, I said, similar to Illinois yesterday, I see Maryland jumping out to a hot start, and you can't see the full analysis, but I said, don't want to play with the second half here, as the Spartans are known for coming back. And guess what the Spartans did? They came back. So we hooked at -2. If we were live, then you guys know I probably would have told you guys to take the -1.5. But overall, 4-0-1 on the day. We will take that every single day. You can see here on Action Network, that's a 73% return on our investment. We needed that like air. And then speaking about the sweep, you know what happens when we sweep the board. Speaking about my boy Tay, he's been one of my, I really appreciate you, fam. You're like a supporter, bro. You always show love. You always DM me, man. I greatly appreciate it. So I sent over the free 3 sweep, $30 to my fam so he can get that bread. And I told you guys, all you have to do is comment below, and when we sweep the board, you will get paid as well. All right, I greatly appreciate y'all. All the love and support. If you're not liking, if you're not subscribing to the channel, please do so. I greatly appreciate y'all. We're done yapping here in this morning. I just wanted to show some gratitude. Let's get into this board. I really can't say that I love it, but I think there are a few games that I do like. Now I will start off this video with a caveat real quick. Let me take off the screen share. I am feeling myself a little bit. Back-to-back winning days. I feel like we've been reading the board right, and we're getting right into the best time for me personally as a handicapper. I always make my most money from conference tournament time through the NCAA tournament. That is, sorry for those who heard that. That is when I make my most money. That's when I'm at my best. College basketball is my sport. I love it. Like, I love basketball so much, I'm at the point where I'm starting to actually start coaching basketball. That's how much I watch this stuff. I'm watching the Euro League now, trying to start betting on that. So reason why I'm telling you guys that is some of these picks might not be backed or justified by the numbers. It might just because of how I look at both of these teams and how I've been watching and following them all season and the situational spots that I'm taking, okay? So the first and foremost, and we're going to start locking in some futures here starting probably tomorrow. I'm going to start cooking up some futures for the tournament so we can start hedging off of that as well. So for today, one of the first best bets that I'm going to take is not going to be a bet that might be popular or that some people are going to take, and it's a team that we've taken several times this year. And I'm just going to cut straight to it. UAB on the road against Wichita State. I'm taking UAB on the money line, minus 103. I think you can get plus 100 on certain books. You can see Caesars here at plus 100. So shop around. ESPN plus 100. We'll go with the consensus number here at minus 103 to win a unit. And this is one of those bets, guys, where I'm not going to have all the numbers for you. I don't know why UAB is an underdog. They are the better team. Let us go here to ESPN real fast because I want to show you guys what is going on right now inside of the American Conference. UAB, they're 11-3 in conference. You can see they're tied for second place with North Texas. Memphis is still number 1 at 13-2, and they're a game and a half ahead. Meanwhile, UAB, you can see they're 3, Tulane 10-5. All the way down here is Wichita State, middle of the pack, 7-7. I get it, they're at home. Wichita State historically is a tough place to play. I do not think this Wichita State team is as good as we're used to seeing them in years prior. But let's look at the situational spot. You're tied for second in the conference. North Texas, they play today. They play FAU. They're slight favorites, but even like Ron Romanelli from Pick Dogs Bank Shot Breakdown, he has FAU today, and I don't disagree with him. I think FAU's offense is strong enough to beat a very strong North Texas defense. But look at the remaining schedule for North Texas. FAU, Wichita State, Charlotte, Temple. They could really win out, in all honesty, if they lose this road game to FAU. They may lose to Wichita State, I don't know. But let's look at UAB. They've got Wichita State, they've got Memphis, they've got FAU, they've got Tulane. The reason why I point this out is because basically UAB, yes, they're going to face a tough Memphis team, and if they lose, they're going to stay in the third place spot. But they really dictate their fate in a way. Why? Because North Texas might lose today, UAB beats Wichita State today, and then you now pick up a big win against Memphis going into conference tournament time, FAU as well. I like UAB here. I like them in this spot. I get it. It's a look-ahead spot for UAB because they play Memphis next. And I think that's what Memphis was doing last night against Rice. And we saw that one come down to a very close game as I was swaying that in the parlay. But if we go to KenPom real quick, we can see here that he has this as a 2-point loss for UAB. But again, road loss to all the top teams in the conference. This is not Wichita State's best season. And even though UAB struggles defensively, they are the better coach with Andy Kennedy. Shout out to his days at Ole Miss. 35th in offensive efficiency, 14th in turnover percentage, 4th in offensive rebounding percentage. Meanwhile, Wichita State, they struggle offensively. And then defensively, you can see they don't force a whole lot of turnovers. So a team that doesn't turn over the ball a lot to begin with, and you don't force a lot of turnovers, and you're 125th in defensive rating, 254th in scoring offensively, and you can't hit threes against a team that's very strong offensive rebounding-wise. Why did Vanderbilt beat Texas A&M yesterday? Free throws, three-point shooting. But Texas A&M does what they do, get on the offensive glass. They're going to keep the game close, but then what's the separator? Free throw shooting, three-point shooting. Well, Wichita State, they suck at three-point shooting, and free throw shooting, they're middle of the pack. They're average. Luckily for them, they don't foul a whole lot. You can see they're number 1 in free throw percentage on the defensive side. But this is just one of those spots where I've been rocking with UAB a lot lately, and I know we've lost on them at times, but this is where you get right. This is where you have the chance to literally solidify the number 2 seed inside the conference, which is the difference between playing North Texas and playing Memphis when you really think about it, right? So I want that situational spot here, and we're going to lock in UAB on the money line. Now, our second pick is going to be our bankroll builder of the day because there are a few teams that I like on the money line here that I don't necessarily want to lay the spread with, okay? And again, same situational spots that are going to be happening with conference positioning. There are a few games that are just wide open. First one I'm going to lock in is Sanford on the money line. Now, Sanford, UNCG, and UT Chattanooga play each other tonight in the SoCon. That's number 1 team in the SoCon. That's number 2 team in the SoCon. So basically, they have the chance to dictate who's the number 1, who's number 2 seed there. I'm about to pull that up real quick so you guys can see what's going on in the SoCon. Chattanooga 13-3. They play UNCG today at 12-4. Sanford is 11-5. Sanford is not out of it. I'm scrolling down here because I want you to see here. They play VMI today, and then they have a chance to play UNCG. So if UNCG loses today and Sanford wins today, guess what we have? A game in the last regular season game to decide the second place inside the conference tournament. This matters, my friends. This matters. Now, Chattanooga, if they beat UNCG today, they're off to the races as the number 1 seed. But if they lose today, 13-4, 13-4, 12-5, and now you have a chance to beat UNCG, tie for first, and then Chattanooga, they may lose their second to last game, and now look at that. We have a 3-way tie for first place. This is where you, as a basketball team, as a coach, you got to get your boys ready to show up. But this is also where the teams that are not ready crumble. I'm willing to lose money now than in the tournament because I got more money riding on brackets, futures, and all that. So I'll bet on the team now to win the game, and I'll say, handle your business. But if you fold, like Maryland did last night at Michigan State, I'm taking a note of that come the time that I create my bracket. Because now when you have a team like Texas A&M who can struggle scoring the ball, who's losing close games, we've seen that several times this season, and then the bracket matches up in the Sweet 16 against maybe a lower-ranked team, but that lower-ranked team is like a Drake, that's the difference between finding upsets come championship time or come March Madness time. I know I'm yapping a little bit today, but it's like, I want you guys to see the psychology that's going to go in through this as we play this out over the next few weeks and next month or so. So we got Sanford as the first leg. If you want to take them on the spread, be my guest. The second leg, I'm going to pull up the whole parlay for you guys so you can see this. We got Sanford, we've got Vermont, and then we also have IPFW. Now, IPFW is the leg that we're building around, so I'm going to talk about that leg last. Let's talk about Vermont real quickly. Vermont today is traveling on the road to take on North Georgia or Jersey IT, NJIT. They suck. They're 352nd on KenPom. There's only 363. 5 wins this season. I don't know what else we need to talk about, okay? Vermont, they figured it out in the American East. They started off the season rough. You can see 6-8, 11-11. But they're one of the best, well-coached teams in all of college basketball. They have one of those coaches in John Becker who's been there for like 30 years, and despite big programs calling him, he don't want to leave. He just wants to make Vermont the behemoth of the American. And now they have a chance after winning 5 straight games here. If we go to the conference standings real quickly, you can see 10-3 right here. Bryant's 11-2. So they're right on Bryant's ass. You can't lose a game to a team that's 2-11. We move. Last and final game, IPFW. Now let's pull up IPFW real quickly for you guys here because I want you to see what's going on in the Horizon League. I love the Horizon League. They're one of the toughest leagues to bet. And the reason why that is because everybody's very balanced from top to bottom. So if we look here, Robert Morris, 14-5. Cleveland State, 13-5. Youngstown State, 13-6. Purdue Fort Wayne, 12-6. Milwaukee, 12-6. Oakland, 10-8. You get the point. So besides Detroit Mercy and Green Bay, which is in a world of their own, everybody from like here to here is very similarly matched. And if you dive into the games, you'll find a game where like Wright State be like Youngstown State and things of that nature. So Purdue Fort Wayne is at home today against Northern Kentucky. And the reason why I'm pulling up the standings, I want you to see this. They are 1.5 games back for first place. They still have a shot at the crown. And if we look at the remaining games, they have 2 games left. Northern Kentucky right here and Cleveland State. Where was Cleveland State? One of the teams that's right ahead of them. This is the difference between being a 5 seed or a 4 seed in conference tournament and being a 2 seed if you handle business. And today they should be able to handle business against a Northern Kentucky team that's 9-9 on the year. But if we look at this real quickly, I want us to look at the numbers a little bit here. I know I'm bouncing around to a lot of different screens for my people who are on the live stream, but it's like you gotta find like every site. puts in their names differently. Okay, so they got IPFW. Some spell out North, some just put an N. So annoying. But I'm scrolling down here because I want you to look at this. Northern Kentucky, 8-21 against the number this year. Not good. 3-10 against the number on the road. Even worse. 2-10 against the number as an underdog. Even worse. So they really suck against the number. They get worse on the road, and they're worse as an underdog. So all these reasons, even if I pull up KenPom real quickly and we see what they have as the win for them, a 9-point win for them for IPFW at home against Northern Kentucky. So this is why I like it. If you want to take IPFW on the overall spread at 7.5, again, KenPom has a 9-point win. I'm not opposed to it, but those are the 3 legs that we're locking in for the bankroll builder. Okay, my friends, we're gonna go Sanford on the money line. We've got IPFW on the money line. And then we've got Vermont on the money line. 3 teams that need to handle business to get it done. If we parlay those minus 102, when I cooked it up earlier, we got it to plus 100, but it's okay. Throwing a huge favorite in there. I would not touch Michigan if I were you guys. That's a huge favorite that I would not touch because I think Rutgers needs this win. But I could do Grand Canyon if you're trying to get to plus 100, or you can also do Central Connecticut. They've been paying us all year. All right? 2 bets down, one final one left to go. And let's go to the NBA card. And let's go to props. So you guys know I go to Doing Sports. Not sponsored by this video or anything, but they always kind of just bring me to different trends, different players that may, be profitable, plus EV and all that good jazz. And the reason why I waited last to tell you guys about this player prop is because it's ugly. It's ugly. I told you I'm feeling myself. I told y'all that to start the video. And shout out to Sports Talk. No, it's not Sports Talk Matt who I've got seen a similar prop to. It's Just a Bet Outside. I don't know if you watch his YouTube channel, Just a Bet Outside. He does really good analysis, really good research help. And one of his best bets today also coincided with one of the guys that Doing Sports likes. And you can see here, Mr. Brook Lopez. Now, Doing Sports likes his PRAs over 19.5. You can see why, right? And then Just a Bet Outside, if we just click on the game a little bit deeper, he likes the points over, he got, I think, 11.5 for Brook Lopez's points. And the books now have it at 12.5. You can see this right here. I'm not opposed to either of those lines. But the line that I'm going to take is not the PRA. It's not the points, even though I do like both of those. It's going to be ugly. But I'm going to take Brook Lopez over 1.5 assists. So if we look at this number real quickly here, we can see here, I hope I'm not zoomed in too much, Brook Lopez in the last 10 games, okay, he's gone over this number in 7 of the last 10 games. 3 assists last matchup against the Rockets, only 1 against Miami, 2 against the Clippers or the Wizards, 2 against the Clippers, 2 against the Wolves, 3 against the Warriors. So he's gone over in 5 of the last 6 games. That's important. But also another thing that I'm pulling out here, again, I love the points, I love the PRAs, but the reason why I really like the assists here as well, before we look at what the Nuggets do defensively, is his minutes have increased. 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 34, 35. Before 24, 24, 31 here, he was playing situational basketball. So, like, if the team that he was playing for required him to play more minutes, he would. But why is he playing more minutes recently? Exactly. Bobby Portis getting suspended. So, Bobby Portis getting suspended 25 games means more minutes for Brook Lopez. Historically, Giannis, if we scroll up here, has struggled against the Nuggets, right? You can see he's greened here, but he hasn't played the games where Jokic has played. It's been a big thing, like Giannis is ducking Jokic or some shit. I don't know. And you can see here, he's on the injury report here. So I don't know all the way how effective Giannis will be. He hasn't gone off his point line in 4 straight games. I'm not worried about that. What I'm looking at here is with the Nuggets against starting centers, we can see here that 6 of the last 10 games on the right side of the screen, that they've allowed centers to go over this number. Miles Turner, 2 assists. Nurkic, 7 assists. Donovan Clinton, 2 assists. Yves Missi, 2 assists, 3 assists, and then Mark Williams, 3 assists. So when you look at Brook Lopez's game, it's like, which one does he more replicate? Yes, he's a stretch 3-point big, but he's kind of more of like Miles Turner rather than a lob threat like Jackson Hayes, right? he's more of a person who can get the ball like Nurkic in his hand, dribble a few times, or swing it one time and get an assist, rather than like a person like DeAndre Ayton, like when they grab the ball, they just hug it and they just don't, they don't do anything with it. If we go to FanDuel, no, it's not FanDuel. This is the Fantasy Pros. If we go to Fantasy Pros and we go look at against the setting position, the Denver Nuggets are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th worst team in terms of the most assists allowed to the starting center position, or to just centers in general. Again, Brook Lopez. And when you really look at the NBA recently, guys, they had a game where Nurkic had like 19 assists or something. They were showing highlights the other day. I was watching on Twitter. And is it just me, or do we not know what an assist is anymore? I feel like they give an assist for like a player I could pass it to Dame, and Dame could still go dribble, step back three, and they count that as an assist. It doesn't really make sense, but only reason why I'm saying that is I think the assist line is kind of like the rebound line from 2-3 years ago. Like 2-3 years ago when the NBA changed like the foul rule and we just kept cashing out on rebounds after rebounds because the uptick in rebounds went up and the books adjusted. I feel like it's the assist line this year because I just don't understand what they call from an assist and what they don't, because it's like players are still making moves and you're still giving them the assist. So for me, I like that as well. And if we zoom out here just a little bit, and we filter out games without Bobby Portis, and we apply it to Brook Lopez, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's gone over in 6 of the last 7 times without Bobby Portis. So I know it's ugly. If you don't like the sell job, take the points at 12.5. Take the 3-point shots at over 1.5. Take the PRA at 18.5. Like, you can see the hit rate. It's green. He's averaging 22.7, 1.8 assists, 5.6 rebounds. Like, he's green on all of his numbers. The thing is, when you look at what the Nuggets look like to do defensively, I feel like the outlier is on the assists rather than the points or rather than the PRAs. And that's just what that's what I'm going with here. So we're going to go back to action real quickly. And let's go to the NBA. And let us lock in this third and final best bet. But I think Brook Lopez is the read, and it will be a beautiful day if he could just sweep the board and win for everybody, whether you take his points, whether you take his assists. I'm not a big fan of taking people out of their position and taking their lines, but I will do it for today. And you can see here we're only getting minus 135 on one book here. So I would shop around a little bit and see that's a little bit more juice than I really wanted to pay for this, because I saw a doink for minus 115, so I kind of got a little bit concerned. It's like I can throw in Brook for 1 3-pointer in there or something, but it's all right. We'll just lay the unit. We'll just lay it. I'll have a few plays added a little bit later. So for the sake of the video, we don't need to prolong this. Let's go Brook Lopez over 1.5 assists. I would try to shop around and get this just a little bit cheaper. That's a little bit more that I would like to pay for that number, if I'm being honest. Our second best bet is going to be our moneyline parlay with Sanford, IPFW, and Vermont. And then finally, UAB on the money line on the road against Wichita State. All these teams have something to play for. All these teams have something to prove. I do appreciate you guys for tapping in again this morning. If you guys are on the YouTube, on the podcast, on the Twitch, man, I really appreciate all the love that you guys show. Again, if we sweep the board, all you got to do is just drop a comment, and I will be able to Venmo you guys the money, and we'll be able to keep this gravy train rolling. 2 winning days in a row. I think we've had 3 winning days this week, and our goal is to keep the momentum going into the weekend and going into conference tournament time. All right, my friends? Appreciate y'all for tapping into the free through this morning. Again, follow me at Noble Living on all social platforms and on the Action Network as well, where I'll have a few more added plays throughout the day. All right, let's get to that cheddar and dictate your fate. And as always, it is your boy Noble Living. I'll see y'all tomorrow's video. Later, gang.